Hello, in this video tutorial, we will be talking about Unit 4, Activity 1. And this activity is our second last activity of the semester. And so if we take a look, Unit 4, Activity 1 is going to review opinion writing. So you will review how to write a series of 5 paragraphs with an opinion by practicing how to write strong opinions, introduction paragraphs, body paragraphs, and conclusion paragraphs. So you've already written a series of paragraphs expressing an opinion. You did it at the ending of Unit 1. So this is your second chance to do it this semester. You're going to write a second series of paragraphs expressing an opinion. It's going to have 5 paragraphs. So as long as you remember that structure, you should be good. And if you don't, well, that's what this activity is for, is to go over that 5-paragraph opinion structure one more time. Okay. Just a couple of reminders before we get into this. Remember that you are writing your own opinions and using your own words and your own ideas. So as you're going to see later in the activity, I'm going to give you 2 possible topics for your opinion paragraphs, and you choose one out of the 2, and then you're going to write your own opinions, your own ideas. It is not a research assignment. So choose whichever one of the topics that you feel better about, that you can personally write about. Remember, too, that you must type and edit your entire series of paragraphs inside a Google. Hello, Sasan. I'm just going through my lesson. I will. I'll take any questions that you might have when I'm done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
All right. So you're going to type and edit your series of paragraphs entirely in Google Docs, the Google Docs template that I provide to you. So please, no copying and pasting. I can't grade it. It has to be typed in your own words in your own Google Doc. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by that later. Okay. Your series of paragraphs is due on Monday, June 1st. So you have an entire little over a week to do it. It is a bit of a bigger assignment. You're writing 5 paragraphs instead of 1, or instead of a portfolio or journal entry. So it is a bit bigger. Okay. Important note that your in-person final exam is coming up. It is on Friday, June 12th at 12 noon. And so next Monday, I will, when hopefully you're finishing your series of paragraphs here, I will post an announcement with a link to the format of the exam, a course review, and some practice questions. So you will get a review for the exam, and you will still have almost 2 full weeks to study for the exam after you get the review. Okay, but again, that's for next week. For this week, we're focused on opinion writing. If we click on Unit 4, Activity 1, it'll take you into this document right here. And so we've got returning to opinion pieces. And if you take a look, it says your point of view is important. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And so you're going to get a chance in this activity for a second time this semester to give me a full opinion in 5 paragraphs. Okay. If we keep going here, the action. So this is going to be the review of what a 5-paragraph opinion assignment would look like. And so it's going to go over a series of paragraphs, introductions, and it's going to talk about how to write a proper introduction for an opinionated piece. And they're going to give you some examples of how you can start an introduction and ask you your opinion about whether these are effective or ineffective beginnings to an opinionated paragraph. And then it's going to explain down here why the ineffective ones are not effective, and why, hopefully helping you write a better introduction to your first paragraph of a series of paragraphs expressing an opinion. If we go down here, it's a little bit more about writing an introduction and how you should do it. And they give you 2 practice questions right here, and they ask you to write introduction paragraphs based on these questions. This is just to get you thinking and get you practicing. These are not the topics that you're going to write your assignment on this week. If we continue on, you'll see an explanation of what the paragraph should look like. And so you've got an explanation right here. And then it moves on to how you're going to continue and write your body paragraphs. And since you're writing 5 total paragraphs, you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. And those body paragraphs should have at least 5 sentences each. So you've got the topic of the paragraph, you've got at least 3 examples supporting your opinion in the topic sentence here, and then you have a concluding sentence at the end. Okay. Again, by the way, all of this is a review. If you go back to the last activity of Unit 1, we've already gone over the 5 paragraphs that you have to do in a series of paragraphs expressing an opinion, and you've already done an assignment like this for me. And so again, if you want to go back and you look at your previous work, please do so. The following is a body paragraph that needs help. So they're going to give you a body paragraph that maybe is not written very well, and then it's going to suggest how you can fix it. Okay. So again, the whole purpose of the activity is to practice how to write and to learn how to write better introduction paragraphs, body paragraphs, and then finally, when we move down here, the conclusion paragraph. So it's going to go over the what a 5-sentence conclusion paragraph should look like. And then it talks a little bit about some of the biggest mistakes that maybe are made when people are writing conclusion paragraphs. When we go down here, we have assessment opportunity. And so this is when we get to the assignment. And this assignment's a fairly big one. For the second time this semester, you're going to write me a series of paragraphs expressing an opinion. So it's called Series of Paragraphs Expressing an Opinion number 2, because number 1 was all the way back in Unit 1. So now it's the time for you to write another series of paragraphs expressing an opinion. Click here to open the template. So you're going to click right here, and I will do that in a minute. And you will you'll see the Google Doc that you're going to fill out. And you're going to find that in the Google Doc, you're going to have to choose one of these 2 topics. So I've given you 2 choices. Pick whichever one you like. Please do not write paragraphs on both. Only one. And so the first question says, or the first topic says, the Ontario government has proposed increasing the speed limit of all provincial expressways and highways to 120 kilometers per hour. So when we say expressways, we mean like the EC-RO. When we say highways, we mean like the 401. So what do we think about increasing the speed limit on those expressways and highways to 120 kilometers per hour? And then the second topic is the City of Windsor has proposed the building of a drug rehabilitation center in your neighborhood. What do we think about that? These are 2 kind of local issues that you can think about that would relate to our own lives, and I would like to know your opinion. So task 2, you're going to brainstorm your opinion, and you're going to talk about the positives and negatives, or the yes and no arguments. So for the Ontario government has proposed to increase the speed limit, well, what would be the positives? What would be the yes, they should do that? What would be some reasons why? And then what would be no, they shouldn't do that? What would be some reasons, some what we would call cons, some pros and cons, right? And then you do this, if you're doing the second one, you do the same thing. The City of Windsor proposes the building of a drug rehabilitation center in your neighborhood. What would be the pros and the cons? What would be the yes argument and the no argument? Okay, so you're going to brainstorm both sides. Then number 3, you're going to pick the side that you agree with, right? And you're going to focus on that one side of the issue. And then there is an opinion piece organizing template that you can fill out. And again, I'm going to show you all these steps on the Google Doc here in a minute. Step 4, again, this right here is all your rough work, right? Step 4 is you're actually going to start writing out your 5 paragraphs. After you've after you have chosen your side and after you know your points, you can start writing out your paragraphs. Step 5 is going to be to edit, proofread, and rewrite your paragraphs. And then you've got a series of paragraphs editing checklists that you can take a look at to make sure that you're including everything. And then once you've rewritten your paragraphs and you're happy with them, you can take a look certainly at the rubric. This is how I'm going to grade your paragraphs. So the 4 different categories. And then when you're happy, everything's looking good, you've included everything you need to include. This is just another link to get to the same template, to get to the same Google Doc, but you're going to submit your work. And so let's see what all of these steps look like in the Google Doc. So again, you can click right here, open the template, or you can click right here, 4.1 assessment series of paragraphs expressing an opinion number 2. It's both the same document, right? But if we click on it, this is what it'll look like. As always, it will ask you to make your own copy. So you're going to make your own copy. And then what you'll see is you'll see the exact steps that we just went over on the assignment page there. You're going to see that you're going to have to brainstorm. You're going to have to organize and develop. You're going to have to write a final series of paragraphs, and then you're going to have to review the checklist and make sure everything's complete. And then you're going to submit this entire Google Doc to me. Hopefully everything you've done is typed right in here, and then this is your assignment for the week. So you have a repeat of the topics. Again, choose one of these topics, right? Not both. Okay. You take your topic here and you put it right here, and then you begin to brainstorm. And remember, you want to brainstorm as many ideas as you can think of. You can certainly write more than this. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. You can write, oh, come on. If you go enter, you can add as many bullet points as you want here, and you can type as many points as you like when you're brainstorming the topic. Once you're done brainstorming, you're going to try to list the pros and the cons, the good and the bad, right? So if you're doing the government has increased the speed limit, you're going to say the reasons that, yes, they should do that, and you're going to list those. If you're saying, if you're looking on the other side, no, the reasons that they should not do that. I do want you to look at both sides before you make a decision. So please fill out both sides of this chart, okay? And then you'll move on and you will pick one side, whichever argument you like better, the yes or the no side, you're gonna pick that one and you're gonna focus on that. And then you're going to kind of make some notes here on what you're going to include in the introduction, in the body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, and in the conclusion. So again, this is your rough work, your notes on what you're going to include in each paragraph. And then we go down here and it says, now it's time to write. Note the recommended format of your opinion piece, the series of paragraphs. Remember that you need to follow the 5-paragraph structure. So you have an introduction paragraph, you have body paragraphs, 3 body paragraphs, you have a concluding paragraph. So remember that no matter what your opinion is, no matter which topic you've chosen, all of you are going to write 5 paragraphs. And this is where you're going to type your 5 paragraphs right here. And you do have to type your paragraphs right into this box. Please do not copy and paste into this box. Please do not, type it someplace else and then copy it into here. You do have to type your 5 paragraphs and edit your 5 paragraphs right in this box. Okay. After that, you just have a checklist that reminds you, did you give your series of paragraphs a title? Do you have a proper introduction? Did you use the proper structure and have proper body paragraphs? Is your conclusion done correctly? Did you check your punctuation? Did you use specific and proper words? It asks for word variety. So did you not just keep repeating the same words over and over again? And sometimes that becomes difficult in an essay to change up the variety of your words, but you want to try to do that. Did you include supporting details to back up your points throughout the paragraphs, right? So if you check off yes to all 8 of these, then you should be ready to submit your 5 paragraphs here. As always, you're going to share this Google Doc with me, and you're going to submit it onto the into the Dropbox on the course website. If you have any questions at all, please let me know this week. Again, you have until next Monday, so you have a little over a week to do this. Next week, we will get started talking about your final exam. So again, we're getting right down to the end. So please let me know how you're doing and if there's anything I can do to help. Other than that, have a good week.